All right. Hopefully it's not going to get laggy because it says this right here. Hopefully it looks good to everybody, but what's going on?
What's up, everybody?
This
the
is
first podcast.
This is Cody over here. He's my brother, but he also makes music. So
Yeah, I've been making music for less than a year, probably. When did I start? Like August. I think I dropped my first song, and
yeah,
Yeah.
nosebleeds,
Nosebleeds.
making it on the little ass mic that Dad started us all off with.
Yes, dude. That mic, I don't know. It started me off, so I'm grateful for it, but I had no idea how shitty it actually was.
Yeah.
Until
There's already 3 viewers in here, so let me turn my mic down a little bit. Sorry, it might be a little loud. This is the first episode, everybody, so there could be issues along the way that are fixed and solved that would be better prepared for next time. But today we're kind of just going to be introducing ourselves for everyone that doesn't know us. I know there's going to be some family in here, and we're just going to be then. I want to talk about the power of manifestation today, to be honest with you, because it's been changing my mind a lot. My mind has been getting warped a lot. Alright, so anyways, I'm Zach. Obviously this is Cody, and then I'm gonna be the host of this podcast. He's gonna be on it a lot of the times, but I'm also gonna be having new guests on here. And the point that I want to have with the podcast is to basically my main goal is, because Cody's underground right now. We both come from Buffalo, New York, and I want to make it to where he has an opportunity to have another platform. I have a platform to play to grind on, and then my also other goal. Jesus, I'm stuttering so bad. But my other goal would be to help other people come through and other people get on the podcast, give a light on, and then I also want to have people submit their songs, which I review. If Cody's on, he'll help review. Just give criticism and then also praise when it comes to it. And then at the end of the episode, we'll choose an artist of the week that I want to help promote, give other platforms to have their music on, and then eventually just grow a good community together.
Yeah.
What do you have to say? Introduce yourself.
Like I said, I'm Cody. I've been doing music for less than a year. I started in August. He's the one who, like, everyone in here, he's my brother, you probably know, but he edits all my stuff, he shoots all my stuff, he pretty much takes all my pictures. We have this room that our dad let us be in, man.
Yeah.
We got our whole room set up for it. I don't know, we're just trying to make dreams come true, honestly, and this is, I know, like, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but
No, dude, it's the podcast, man.
I don't know, since he shoots all my stuff, does all that, I've never wanted him to just be the guy behind the camera. Like, I've always wanted him to have a face for himself, and now he does, and there's a platform for people to go to, and he has podcasts, and obviously you'll learn more about it as we go, but yeah, that's pretty much me and this podcast.
Yeah, as you said, like, this whole journey started off with him just making music, and that kind of just turned into, I knew how to edit videos, and I was looking for something to put passion and time into, because, like, I don't know, I've never really wanted to work a regular job, but I can't say that it hasn't gotten me a lot, and it got me far in life so far, but it's too entrapping, you know? That's the best way to describe it. I'll do it for the time being, because I'm not going to be someone to not make money, but I don't want that to be my life. I want to have more for my life. Ty Carrier 20. Thank you for the follow, man. Is that your buddy?
That's my buddy.
Yo, thanks for the follow, man.
But no, I definitely agree with what you're saying, but, like, I don't know. It's an endless cycle, honestly. It's like, I don't think I could see myself going from this petty ass job I got now and then just going here and then, oh, what's the next step? Another full-time job. I gotta be boss of my own shit. I gotta be doing what I love to do, and that's how I have to put it. Yeah. I don't think I could ever work a normal job a day in my life, or not a day in my life, but for the rest of my life.
The thing is, it's just like, you can, the way I look at it is, when you have a regular job, it just feels like you're kind of 70% of your life is trying to survive, and then like 30% of your life is actually being happy. And I would
Yo, that killed my brain.
Why?
That was some deep messaging.
Yeah, dude, that's how I view it though. Like, you get to survive when you have a full-time job, but in reality, you have no assets in it. Like, in reality, if you buy a house, that's not an asset because it's taking from you. An asset should be you. You have these multiple platforms. You have this podcast. You have your Instagram. You have, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and then if you're signed to somebody, you have different assets of money. So you're never relying on this one chunk of money, because that's the scare of jobs, man. Like, if you think about it, you work a full-time job like me. Mm-hmm. I lose my job. I have what I have saved, and that's it.
We got nothing.
Then I gotta go on unemployment. So true. That's everybody in the chat. If you want to say what's up, but P. Roz is the guy that is our dad and got us all this stuff. So
the guy that is our dad. I don't know. Like, dang, dude. I've never thought about it that way. I've always just thought about, like, I hate the fact of a job, but I don't know. That's like a way to make it sound even more entrapping, because pretty much, like, you're fucked. You got that job, dude. You're fucked right after that, and then you're scrambling to get another whatever it is, not even a job, just anything, honestly.
Yeah, the way I look at it, though, is, like, I don't want to be 65 excited to finally be able to do what I've been dreaming about doing at 20.
Yeah, true.
And I don't want to be...
But I also don't want to look at it as, like, it needs to happen now, and if it doesn't, we're done.
No. It's a progression that you have to have a mindset that you get up every day, and this is what you focus on. You need to want something that you're pushing for as bad as you want to be able to sleep or eat, It's got to be a situation where you're working to get a life that you want to get out. I mean, that's so obvious, but you got to work for a life that you want to have, Like, to be different, you have to do different.
Yeah, I feel like, and that's a lot of the thing people don't see, because a lot of people, I'm not saying like I'm some like crazy like open-minded guy, I'm better than all you because whatever, but I'm just saying like it's definitely like you just got to open your mind more, and you just got to go for what you want, because that's what it is for everyone. I feel it's just the scare of thinking I can't do it. But like
100%.
Look at me like 2 years ago. I don't think we ever once looked at each other and been like, we're gonna be on a podcast. I'm gonna be making music. Like I've never even imagined 10,000 or 11,000 now, like monthly followers. People listen to my song. Like a music video hit 1K. I got almost 100K in that album.
Yeah.
Emotions and Emotions. It's at like 78K. That's like, I was fine when we first started off. I was fine getting my couple hundred views on SoundCloud, dude. Like me and Dad would sit downstairs and just...
Oh, anything is exciting. 5 viewers right now to me is exciting.
Yes, that's crazy right now.
That's insane.
It's the fact of people taking time out of their life to give something to yours. That is what's insane. And I want to just... I don't know, I just want to give back, honestly. I want to be able to give back.
Dude, I want to be able to give Grandma a shit ton of money. Dad a lot of money, like a new house, whatever.
I mean, yeah, that definitely, but I just want it to be like not having to worry.
That's like my form of success. Like if I'm rich, if I'm famous, great. But in reality, I just want to be able to not worry about life. I want to know that my money's there and I'm not working to have money. I'm just working because I want to. Like, because in my opinion, this is like money's great. But at the end of the day, your happiness is better. Like, I could have $100,000 house with a Honda Civic. But if I'm working for myself, I'm happy.
That's what I'm saying. I could be here working here driving whatever, like a shitty-ass car, and be fine. As long as I'm working for myself and I keeping everyone good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And, like stressing... What you said, the topic about manifestation, is just like, I was never closed-minded, but I never thought about shit that way. and I was never
Yeah.
like the law of attraction. Like, I don't know. TikTok put me on, honestly. Like, I started seeing stuff, and then Ashley, everyone that's my girlfriend, she started seeing these like crazy numbers all the time, like 222. Started seeing all this for months, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah,
crazy. And
yeah.
then all of a sudden, they started. As soon as I started doing this music, and like wanting to do this whole music thing, I started seeing them, and it's just like, it's. I know it's leading me on the right path, and I know with the mindset up we're both going at it with, and everyone around me, the energy that they put towards it is like, I know it's gonna skyrocket.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that
Yeah.
in the least cockiest way, or I am saying that in the least cocky way, but
Yeah, in my opinion, in reality, like, I feel like I don't know what I believe in technically, and I don't want to get in religion on mine, but like, I do think everyone has some form of guardian angel, whether that's what the biblical standards go by,
100%.
or what any other religion goes by. You always are gonna have someone watching over you. Like, there's always someone that's, in my opinion, those signs with like the consistent numbers, that's like a sign from someone above telling you to keep going.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. But I have a feeling it's kind of like, I don't know. I can get into it right now, but it's like, I I think it's like, I honestly think everyone's living their own separate reality. I'm not saying that you're not here right now and you're not real because I'm in my own reality. Like, not anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I think you are in a completely different mindset. You are on your own path, and our paths interconnect. That's why we're
Oh,
brothers. That's why we're
100%.
doing this. But I'm just saying, like, everyone, like, you know how crazy it would be if you could go right now and just even go into my mind, how different it would feel, the mindset you would have, how weird it would be. Like, oh my gosh, why am I thinking about this? It's just-
100%.
That's what's
Yeah,
insane about it.
everybody definitely has their own path that they're walking down. The way I view it is when you're trying to follow, regardless of what you do in life, when you're trying to follow a path in which you are creating your person, your own person. The way I view it is kind of like you know in like the mythical movies, like, did you ever see dude, what is it called? The one with the Maleficent.
Maleficent,
Yeah.
when she's got like the apple.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the
But
full
you know,
movie, but I know
those
exactly
dark,
what you're talking about.
those dark, gloomy, like where it's super foggy. It's like a forest. You can't barely see shit in front of you.
Yes,
Like that.
like
That's
those
how I
type of-
view it. Like, you just keep going, and then like you clear the fog that's in front of you. But then there's always another wall of fog. You don't know what's coming, and that's when it comes. To my opinion, that's when you have fear or you have anxiety and depression, because you have people that are super focused on this one side that's in the past that they can't change for the most part. That's not everyone. But then you have anxiety to where like you're too scared about the future because you don't know what's happened. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's definitely, but that's part of, like, if you want something that bad, that's part of something you have to leap over. Because I always had that. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
yeah,
As
yeah.
soon as I started off, I had that fear. Like, I was like like bulldozer. Like, this is gonna work out. I know. But like, there was always a fear. Like, oh shit. Well, what if? Oh, I got like not as much views on this song. That's what I used to care about. Oh my god, I didn't see how much goes into it. And now that I'm at this point in this level of my career, it's just like, it's definitely, I can foresee the future, and I've jumped over that hurdle of fear. Like, I don't have any fear right now of what I'm doing and exactly the path that I'm going.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to start this podcast, because it's like, this is no offense to you, but like when I'm doing something only for one person, then I'm like,
No, I know
it
that.
can almost, it doesn't ever feel, it never felt like a job, but at the same time, it's like, I wanted to be able to do something that I grind, that I have my own visions on. Because even with that last album cover, I had a different view on it than you did, you know? And it still came out good. I still liked it, but like, that was what I was like, like, my thing is with this podcast, I can create how I want it to be created.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said in the beginning. I don't want, like, anyone who's, when people start really coming in here and it starts popping off, like, I don't want people to ever think that this is my thing. That's why I stress every time I talk about it that it's yours, because I don't want people, like, I never wanted you to just be that guy. Like, that's why I got
Oh,
excited
yeah.
when you started doing the YouTube thing, and then you were like, it's just hard to find a video idea for everything,
Yeah.
but a podcast is so much easier because you can literally come on here and ramble about anything. Literally
Yeah.
anything.
In my
I can't even tell you like what I talked about 10 minutes ago because we've just been going on.
But the thing is like the podcast I view as in like once I get comfortable into more episodes, I will open up more, and it's kind of like a therapeutic thing. Like I'm coming on here to talk about my beliefs, my issues, even just stuff that like other people can relate to.
Yeah, I mean,
And then
that's
eventually,
been our message from the get-go, honestly, though. We're
yeah,
just trying to, we've always, the whole time, it's never been, my money, like the way I look at it, the money side of it all is because I just want my family to live and everyone I got around me to live a stress-free life.
yeah, exactly.
When I'm pushing for my music and like what I'm going for, the message I'm shooting is that one, nothing's impossible. Two, like we've been through some shit, so you can jump over anything, and anything in your life you can bring it together and just make it a positive. You gotta try not to dwell on it. And like I definitely think, like, I don't know what you said, it's therapeutic. This is your therapeutic version of how you're doing it. My music, I go out and I just spit whatever I'm feeling that day.
My thing is with just any kind of industry that's on the internet now, there's definitely you have the people that are real true to heart, but then there's a lot of fake shit out there. Like
Too much,
the
yeah.
entrepreneur gurus, like they're telling people like come pay for this and you'll make a lot of money, but in reality most of that money just goes into their program. A lot of these people rent stuff out and it's just all facade. Like I don't like that. I want to come on here and show like life is fucking real. You can't pretend that it's not. Everyone's got a path and everyone's got a everyone's got a bad day. No matter how positive
Yeah.
your head is, like everyone's gonna have a bad day.
But the reason, like, you gotta look at it as, like, this is cliche sounding, but you gotta look at it as you gotta learn from that day. Because you just go, if you go through that bad day and you're like, oh my gosh, this was such a bad day, oh, I hated today, then you're coming to the next day with no knowledge out of that. You go have a bad day and you're like, why am I having a bad day? Oh, shit at work, I didn't get to start the podcast today, I'm running late. Like, okay, next time, do this, this. You won't have that day.
Yeah.
Even, and like, obviously bigger shit, like bigger problems, but I was just making minor problems, so I
And
can understand it.
the other thing is like the way you gotta view it is like, what can you do today to make tomorrow better? Why was today bad, and what can I do to improve it to make tomorrow better? You
Yeah.
can't. If you sit there and like you just exactly like you said, if you sit there and say my day was dog shit, like I had nothing good happen today, and then you're gonna go to bed with that energy.
Exactly, and then you got nothing out of it. All you got out of that day was it was such a bad day. You didn't get anything done. You didn't like my. This can lead into another topic. Is like my brain is like for this music is work. Let's grind the shit out of it, but also I like to obviously give myself like a day break. Like yesterday, I did some yesterday. I gave myself a day break. I didn't write any music. I kind of just chilled out. But then I used it as like a rest day and a mental day. I didn't just go lay in my bed all day, do nothing. I went to work and then like I thought about everything I needed to do. I got my mental right, and now I'm going into today doing this. I'm gonna go record a couple more songs.
That's exactly
Productive
how you
day.
gotta view it though, because at the end of the day, too much of a good thing is always a bad thing. So if when the time comes that music is your money provider, you don't need that corporate job holding you tied down like with the ball and chain, because you gotta go there because you need money. Then
That's
at the end of the day, it just because you're doing it every day doesn't mean, and that's what you love, doesn't mean that every day you're gonna be great at it. There's gonna be days where you just can't get out of your head and you just need to go sit down and watch Netflix for the whole day. Disconnecting yourself from any craft you do is the best part, but that's what I don't like about full-time working or any kind of job is when you mean a mental day, it doesn't mean your boss needs to agree that you need a mental day. So if you have a boss that doesn't view you or like treat you like shit, then he's gonna give you the hardest time just because you wanted a day off. Like now, I don't call off a lot, but I call off just to have a day off sometimes. Like sometimes I just want to have a day off.
For sure.
Oh, it's all frozen. We'll do for now. Well, it looks good. So if it dies, like I said, we're gonna go back onto the audio, just an audio podcast for the day, for this time, and then the next one will be more prepared. But yeah, where did we leave our conversation at?
We were just talking about manifestation.
Or we can kind of go into the reasons why you wanted to start making music.
We could definitely go into that.
So what's your reasoning behind wanting to do music?
I don't even really. There was never like a time in my mind where it was like music was always just incorporated in my life.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, but I never like realized like, okay, well, this isn't my life. This is what I want to do forever. But it was kind of just a thing that was like, hey, like just stuff leading up to it, and then I made that one little song with Sean on like Volico.
Oh yeah,
and then
phones.
Yeah, and then we showed Dad, and then that it kind of just blasted off from there. And then once it was like fully, the opportunity was fully brought to me, it was kind of just a feeling of like, all right, this is what I want to do. And then when I saw the results of my first song, it was like like 300 views, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. So then kind of went from there, and I've been manifesting it this whole time, and all these doors have opened for me, really.
Yeah, even when we did like, that's the thing, I didn't realize how little you actually needed to be into music. Like you really didn't need more than like, I mean, your sound's gonna vary between the better microphones, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, to start, you just need a laptop, a mic that sounds okay, and someone to mix it if you don't know how to mix. And
yeah,
even when it comes to the videos, we did that first ever visualizer on an iPhone.
Oh yeah,
And then
and with a street lamp for the light.
And then I was like, it kind of like grabbed me. I was like, oh, this stuff's actually cool. So then that's when I made the investment in the camera that we're using now. That's probably gonna die in us, but it's a good camera. Just
exactly. And then we busted out that video. I mean, yeah, it took a little while because schedule reasons and stuff like that. But then we busted that out, and that got like what? It's at like 1.2K right now.
Yeah.
Which is just like.
And I got that in less than a week.
Yeah, literally less than a week.
It's just, I don't know. Life is weird and crazy. Because stuff happens that you don't even like think should happen. But then you're like, then after you get through it, you're like, you learn from it. You realize the reason once it's over. And one of the sayings that I liked in front of some of the stuff I listened to is like, you gotta walk through hell. If once you're in hell, you gotta walk through it in order to get out of it.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like at a certain point in your life, it just hits you that, okay, this is what I want to do. No matter like how, I mean, it hit us now, which is like, obviously we're grateful for that.
Oh yeah, the younger the better.
But like, you could be, like, look at Dad. Dad's what, 50? I bet he never expected this, but now he knows that I want to support my sons full-fledged in doing this, and we can all live this great life. And we're living Dad's dream for him.
Yeah.
Which is
He's
like,
49, but
49. He's gonna be 50.
No, but yeah, that's true. But you know, like Dad and people like in that realm of just working all the time, like everyone's had a dream at one point, but with situations in life, with responsibilities that get packed on that you didn't plan for, you put your dreams aside because you need to face your reality at that time. But then as you do that, things start to get suppressed and your dream just becomes a memory rather than a passion.
But that's probably, I just feel like
he's 48.
He's 48. He's 48. But no, I just feel like it's definitely like, I don't know. It's just crazy how it all works out, really. Like, I wish I could put a finger on exactly what goes into it, but like I can only explain what I know, and just I just have a feeling that the law of attraction and manifestation is literally one.
All right, we're gonna switch to the audio just so we don't have to cancel on you guys. But for now, I'm gonna put the camera in, plug it in, if we can put it back on. But for now, it's gonna be an audio. Sorry, we'll be more prepared next time. But you can continue your conversation.
I feel like
Ow.
it's just like manifestation is just like it's just a key part of life. And what I was going off of, what I was saying, how even little shit, like, remember how you said when you were trying to get that car, it was just always, I'm gonna get that car, not maybe I'm gonna get this car, I hope I get this car. You were like, I'm gonna get the car, I'm gonna get the car.
Oh yeah.
And now 100%. You have the car. Like, you got to think about it in that aspect. You can't just think about, oh, the reason I got this is because I did this. You got to think about it, and because you wanted it, you put your energy in, that's what you got.
Exactly. The energy you put into the world is the energy that you gather out of the world. You can't, if you hate everything about the world's going to give you things to hate. And the way I look at it is you always have, there's always an excuse to not do something. There's always a reason that you're not going to want to do something. But at the end of the day, you have to make the excuses why you should do something. Because there's always a negative when there comes a positive. And you can't, if you focus on all the negatives, then your life is going to be negative. If you put effort into focusing on the positives, that's what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah. But it's just crazy to me that there's so many people in the world that have no idea about that. They just think, like, it's definitely a grind. You definitely got to grind for it. But it's like, I don't know. It's so much easier and comes to you and what you're going for if you just manifest it. And if you don't, if you're just straight going in bullheaded, just grinding, yeah, you're going to get somewhere, but your energy's going to be nowhere near where it needs to be.
100%. It's just how it goes, you know. And like eventually, like when you get to this point where you're say you're 30, like you put your dreams aside, you're gonna have, if you meet a girl, then you guys get married and then you guys have kids. It's not just like you're in the perfect position right now to focus on your craft, because dad's providing in the sense of you're working, but he's providing a home that you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about, you know, the bills you have to make money for. You know, if in reality, if you lost your job, that only means you can put 100% effort into your craft. And even working part-time right now,
you have definitely
so much time and energy that you can put into this. Like,
there's so many things that go into it that I'm grateful for that I have right now. Like, it's so much. That's why it's better to start off earlier than, like, why do you think you see all these 16, 17-year-olds blowing up? They got all this time and probably a part-time job that they're not working at. They're probably working at like 25 hours a week just to get some money to go to the studio. Then they put all their time into that. And then boom, by the time they're 18 or even sooner, they're huge. And that's why I'm starting when I'm 18, and it's only up from here. And it's already at this point in less than a year that I have no doubt by the end of this year or next year, we're going to be somewhere completely different in our life. And I'm not saying we're going to be top of the top Billboard charts. I'm just saying we're going to be somewhere bigger and better in our life that we were like, holy shit.
Yeah, and that's when it comes down to, you have to really, once you want to start your passion, you have to also think to yourself that what does the level of success mean to you? Like, do you, like, this brings back that conversation of, do you want to be this guy that's seen by millions and is a household name, or do you want to just be this guy that's known, but in reality you just make comfortable money on your own? You don't need a boss to call you in. You don't need a job you got to wake up for. You have to wake up for what you're doing. Obviously, you have to put work into what you're doing, but when you can't really call it work when it's something you love. Like, there's got, like Joe Rogan said, you have to have a different name for that, because you're really not working. Like Wiz Khalifa, his day of work is going to the studio, smoking an ounce of weed a day, and having girls coming in and out, and just making music.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
like
that's his quote unquote work.
I would call it craft. That's what I would call it.
Yeah, that's definitely a better way to put it. I would say, I don't know. I would say work, the like definition of work and how stuff is getting put in. It's just like what I'm doing right now at my job is work because I'm putting my work into my craft.
100%.
I don't want to ever look at music as work. I want to look at it as a grind, but I'm grinding for my craft. But I never want to think of it as like I'm going to work. Oh, this sucks.
Yeah, 100%. That's not how work should be. That work should be a different thing. Like, or that's not how. Sorry, I messed that up. But that's not how your craft should be. If you start feeling like have to go to work, then it's the same thing. You don't go to Tops, and you're like, you know what? I'm so ready to cut meat today. I'm so ready to make this food for people.
No,
so you
dude.
don't put that effort into it. So if it's the same feeling that you're getting when you go to make music or whatever it is you're doing a podcast, if you say, oh, like if you don't want to go there and you feel like you have to go to work, quote unquote, then you're just not going to put that effort into it. It's going to be the same effort you put into your day-to-day job.
Exactly. No matter how much you're making out of it, and that's why the goal would be to be independent. 100% independent. Everything we're doing comes back to us. No middleman, no nothing. Just our people around us and us doing our thing. But I'm not going to speak on labels too much, but because I don't really know everything and I'm not going to spit shit about labels.
yeah.
But it's just like, even when that type of stuff comes into play with it, and I know it will, and I know it can, and I know if it does, you know, whatever, but then you're technically working for someone. Like, you got all these different people that you're going around to instead of yourself.
Exactly. And like these labels control who you bring in. If you want to bring your 3 friends that have gone with you through this whole journey, it doesn't mean that they are you too, you know? Like the label's going to be like Little Peep. Look at Little Peep. Like his friends started hating on him because he went to this label that he sought an opportunity with, but they didn't want to bring GBC. So then GBC and him just quit. Like they all Tracy had beef with them for a while.
But that's the thing, like, I don't know, but that's when it comes to like that's when it comes to like just how do I say it? Cuz like people would look at it like this. Say I got signed and like right now and I just like they took me out. I flew out to wherever, California, to meet with them, do all my shit down there. People would consider me fake for that because I'm over there and you guys are still here.
Yeah.
But if like in I don't know if you want to bring up Peep or whatever, but in his aspect, I guarantee his mindset was, okay, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to grind, and then I'm going to be able to bring them at some point. But then they just got into that beef, like, you're over there doing your shit while we're over here still grinding on our laptops. It's just like, you can't, it's just, there's no win in that situation, really.
Yeah, because like no matter what you say, your friends aren't gonna believe you, and it's like you're contracted with this agency. It's gonna be a bitch and a half to be able to get off that contract. They signed you to make money off of you, so you have to fulfill that payment.
That's what I'm saying. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just crazy how advanced my mind has got, really. Because going into this, I was just like, I went into it as, okay, we're gonna make music, this is dope as shit, all these people are gonna be saying what up, I'm gonna be like this cool person. And then life started showing me the doors, like, okay, let's open up this door to this path, you need to get a new mic, dude. Like, and then I met up with Lappy, and me and Lappy started talking, and he was like, you gotta get a new mic, like how all that worked out. Got a new mic. Then I dropped that album, and then that got a super good positive feedback. And then it was the next step, just boom, 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 the steps in between that. Oh, now I found promoting. Oh, now I go to Brad. Oh, there's all this stuff that leads into it. And now it's like, and then the one day, like, I was in my room and then I was like I literally cannot stand recording in my closet anymore. Like, I just need my own space. I need to be able to get out of my room.
Yeah.
Then that whole day, I got my own studio downstairs now. And that's probably how it went for you. The doors were opening up. You saw YouTube. Boom, you took that opportunity. Before even YouTube, you saw Twitch. Boom, you were streaming games. And now it has all led you to right here.
Yeah.
Where you're doing a
In
podcast.
reality, that although the times that I was streaming on Twitch and making YouTube videos based on video games left my life. So those two aspects kind of faded from my life because that's all I knew how to do on it. But it also gave me the know-how and knowledge to not only edit your pictures to a degree, edit your videos to a degree, and then also be able to stream and set something up like this without having to look up a million things. Like, I know that it gave me the knowledge, just like you said, to tie into all of this, to where I'm computer smart. I know how to build and fix computers to a degree. Like, I can set up things without having to ask questions. I can set up things without a lot of difficulties. Right now, the only difficulty we have is battery not being charged.
Exactly. But it's great that your mindset's like that now, because I guarantee before this, when you were looking back at going to Potter for all that and doing all that shit in school, I guarantee when you were out of high school, you were probably like, that was the stupidest shit I did. I didn't learn anything. I'm not doing anything in my life with that right now.
Yeah.
But now you're here and it's like, oh my God, it has helped you. Like, you set up all this, you know how to do all this, you get in technical difficulties, okay, let's jump to this, now we can go charge the camera and do all that. You know how to do all that now.
Yeah, and the thing that I view in school that I heard, I believe it was from an interview with a wealthy person, but the interviewer asked, and they were like, he stated that going to high school, you're trained to be a worker bee without even knowing it, because the people who you go to knowledge for are teachers and your parents, but the people that give you the wealth of knowledge through high school are the people that you entrust to give you the correct knowledge. And in reality, when you think about it, our school systems at this point are all corporate. Our books are made in factories. Like, we're run by the Common Core. Teachers can't run, in New York State at least, teachers can't run their programs the way they would teach their students. They have to be based off the Common Core to teach your kids. There's no way around it. You have to fulfill that every year.
Yeah.
So the teachers have no freedom.
And half those teachers don't even like Common Core.
Yeah, and because they know how, like, what it does. And in reality, it just teaches you that go to school, you have to be in school, and then you get yourself in debt. And I'm not knocking on college. If you plan to go to college to be like a doctor, or you go to college to be exactly what you need out of it, then it's perfect. But a lot of kids just go to college because that's drilled into their head.
Yeah, and then they feel like they need to go.
Yeah, and they leave with debt that they can't fulfill because most of them leave college not even doing what they went to college for.
Like, I mean, we literally have, I'm not going to say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. We have a perfect example of that in our life.
Oh, yeah.
He literally went to college, then was like, this is not for me at all. But I guarantee he went just because it was like, okay, boom, now I got a college scholarship or whatever, let's go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And then he didn't stick with it because it wasn't his thing. And I don't knock on anyone for dropping out of college, because college is not everyone's thing. College was never my thing. School was never my thing. That's literally after school, like right after school, I had no intentions on going to college at all.
I had zero at all. I knew that I wasn't going to do it. I went to trade school for, but at the same time, I knew that I wasn't going to go to college because it wasn't worth my time. There was a point where I was like, maybe I'll just go to the military, but then I also knew that wasn't me. I also knew that, like, I would rather have just made money in some kind of way.
Did that come up, the military come up in your brain because you felt there was not many options?
I'd have to say it do with where I was living at the time, like with mom and all that, because they were kind of like, go to college, or like military would be good too. So I was like, oh, like maybe I will go to the military. But then it never was my thing. I never was that person. You have to have a specific mindset, and you have to be willing to let your mind be completely melted and reformed to be military.
That's exactly, and that leads right back into jobs. Like, I don't like I don't like being told what to do, and I'm saying that in the least snobby way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, like, I'm not saying that, like, you can't tell me what to do, whatever. But, like, I just want to do my thing. I just want to do my thing. I just want to help millions of people. I just want to fucking get my family right, not have to worry about anything. And, like, I'm going to get deep here for a moment, but, like, the way you view, oh, I've made it, is probably completely different than mine, because you got the podcast. You making it's like thousands of followers coming to watch all the time and all that, and then you build your own brand out of it, and then that's your success. My success is, like, I literally just imagine having even with a podcast, imagine having one person come up to you and tell them that your podcast saved their life.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or
That
they,
would
or
be the
just
most-
even like, oh, like I learned a lot from your podcast today. I agreed with a lot what you said. Like that alone, like that's
Right.
crazy.
It just means that, and then on top of it, then they're supporting you, and you just did something that, like, that not like changed their life, but instilled in their life and did something minor or major in their life.
But also like it's just rewarding enough because I'm gonna meet a lot of people. I'm gonna meet a lot of people that I wouldn't have talked to before because I want to be, like the whole like thing I want to do with this podcast. Like I said, is like I want it to be a platform in which I speak my mind, but I also want to be, once I get artists and like you and like Sean and stuff, even like I would even have Lappy on for an episode, just like shout these people out, but at the same time get them on here so they can have their mind their mind and thought process
So
dissected.
people can really see how they
yeah,
are.
like it's one thing to relate to someone's music, but when you relate to their personality, then you become a fan. Then you become it's not even, I don't even like the word fan. Like I don't want to sound like I'm an X, like I'm copying X, but like I don't like that word because it's like you're not, to me.
I've said that. In an unreleased song I mentioned that. I don't like calling people. I rather relate to them as a family.
Exactly.
Like, I never want to think about it as like, oh, you're a fan of me? Thank you so much. Like, the fact that you even come listen to my song, even if it's one or whatever, or like you've listened once and at least gave me a try, that's the most rewarding thing. The fact that people have taken...
You can't call them a fan when they are the reasons that you got where you are.
Exactly.
That's like the same thing.
Exactly, and I feel like a lot of people take that for granted.
Dad's family, and he's the one that's like helped get you this far, and it got me to the point where I can do this, and it looks professional enough to where I'm not starting off in a bedroom with low light. And like you start with what you have, and I was fortunate enough to have more than what most people would have.
Exactly, but even if you didn't, you would still be grinding with that.
Exactly.
Like,
you have to go from where you start.
I don't know.
Just like you told me in a conversation we've had privately, that the hardest thing about starting is starting, because you're gonna keep telling yourself like every day, like, oh, I would like to do that. And just like my girlfriend Haley said, because she's very strong, like she was one of the people and you that kind of like really pushed me to like think a better way and think a better life, and like she really helped me with that. But at the end of the day, her mindset is, if you tell yourself you want to start something today, you should start it, because at the end of the day, tomorrow, you're going to be like, oh, I really wish I started it yesterday.
Exactly. And how do I say this? I forget. It was somebody told me this. Oh, Gary V. You know who Gary V is?
Yeah.
I love watching his videos on TikTok or whatever it is. But think about it like, what did he say? He said, oh yeah, if you're sitting here, because the guy was asking him a question and he was like, like, why should I not start if I don't have good enough equipment? Should I not start what I'm doing? And he said, that's like the biggest bullshit I've heard, because if you're worrying about what you're going to look like, how you're presenting yourself, you're worried about yourself, you're not worried about the message you're trying to give.
Yeah, you're worried about the insecurities that you have facing other people at the end of the day.
I think that's exactly what he said.
Because at the end of the day, when you base your life off the opinions of others and you're worried about what he said, she said, how they said it, what they think about it, then you're gonna be doing it the way that someone else would want it, which is the same exact thing with working. It all ties in because then you're doing something that everyone else said that is the best thing to do. Like, you're going off the opinions of others rather than creating your own mindset that you're pushing on yourself.
Exactly, and then when you go against go with the opinions of other people, you perform yourself into someone who you don't want to be. And then later down the line, you're going to realize that. And then you're going to want to switch yourself up, but you've already gained this perspective of you being how these fans want it, but this is not how you want to be at all.
Yeah.
That's what happens to a lot of these YouTubers or even artists, man. I guarantee there's artists that are making all this shit and they wish they could transform their style.
Little Xan. I know, like, a lot of people he's a contradicted, like, artist, but at the same time, whether he was going to stick out in the scene or not, he was, like, put into a label that he had, like, no, like, real say in. Like, there's videos of him literally getting, like, his phone taken away because they don't want him saying stuff.
Yeah.
Or Lil Pump. Like, I can guarantee Lil Pump just acts like that at this point because that's the persona he has. But I don't want to talk bad at him. He's way more successful than I am, so it's worked. But, like, how could that last forever? You can't be 60 years old acting like that.
Yeah, no. It's that and it's especially the way that all these people were brought up, because then they were brought up that way, and then they weren't shipped to be these long living lasting artists. They were shipped to be these the people, whoever got them to that point, saw what they were doing, said, hey, this sticks with the trend, let's get them popping. And then that trend's over. So, like, when do you hear about them?
Never.
Like, they were popping off like crazy in the scene. And, like, when was that? When was that around? Like 2017-ish?
Like 2016 to 2017, like, there was just a big boom of, like, Lil Peep, X, like, Juice WRLD started in, like, end of 2017, early 2018.
Yeah, it was around then, yeah.
And, like, 2015 is, like, when, like, they were all starting to get some kind of like, traction, but back then you needed to know them. And then, like, 2016, they started becoming names in the underground. Like, Suicide Boys, like, all of that just kind of
But I love Suicide Boys music, obviously, but I love the way that they handle their shit. Look how successful they are, and I don't think they're signed to any major label.
I think they run their own.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do their own shit. Like, look at Puya, dude.
Yeah,
Puya's living the life and doesn't have to worry about, like if he wants to go out, get recognized, he can go to the city of Miami or whatever, and I guarantee he'll be recognized. But he could go anywhere and just look like a typical human, do his everyday thing. He's got a nice house, he's got money, he doesn't need to worry, he's doing his thing, and he does it all by himself.
Exactly. That comes to that conversation where you weigh out what your form of success is. If you want to be this big shining light name, then you sign to a label. But if you just want to have a niche where you're have supporters that really, like, fuck with your shit, then that's how you're gonna, like, that's what you do. That's what you grind for.
That's also what I want to, like, go into too, because there's so many, like, being an independent artist right now is so much easier than it ever was. And the fact of, like, I've thought about this and I don't know how I want to portray it to myself, because I know I'm gonna be, and obviously in the least cockiest way, but I know I'm gonna be a legend for the message that I give out, and same for you. But I don't know if I want to be this big guy under all these lights, all this. Like, I would be just fine having all that, with music being my full-time job, with me going on tours like that we set up, we do all that, and still living here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would want to be, like, more comfortable off, be better, like, wherever, but I would be just fine being here doing exactly what I'm doing, just with my dream of what's to come there.
That's just like Post Malone, though. Like, he moved out of LA to Utah because he wanted a much
He lives in Colorado, I thought.
Utah?
Like, right, dude? Like, what, Utah?
Yeah. Like, he liked the vibes. He's like, I never really thought I would move there because of, like, the religious background Utah has. He said this on the Joe Rogan podcast, but that, like, the vibes are just so nice, and he likes the mountains. Like, LA just seems too much for me. When you're a
Yeah,
kid,
no.
when you're a kid, it's like, oh, LA, like this is where to go. But then you just realize
Hollywood.
like this is when you that's when you just get older and realize like when you get into the stuff you realize like why am I gonna pay 3 times the price for 3 times the smaller like size of the apartment like small wise, and then you're like and all like it's just LA's filled of people trying to do the same thing you are. So there's gonna be a lot of fake people out there too. There's the real people, but like there's just a lot of like backstabbing I feel like goes on up there.
Where, LA?
Yeah.
Yeah, that and I feel like there's no privacy, man. Like
Yeah.
you literally can't not go out. I mean, like with Post Malone's level, I guarantee he still gets recognized when he goes out. But it's just like I guarantee, and then he can go home. He's doing his own thing, and he doesn't have to worry about the fucking cameras and the media and everything that's in LA and surrounds LA. The energy of it, he doesn't have to deal with that.
Exactly.
And I know for a fact right now of just like my anxiety, how my personality is, I couldn't deal with that. I know there'll be flashy cameras in her face. I know all that. It's just like, I don't think I could have people fucking and I'm making up this bullshit about me. Like,
yeah. And then people
just
believe it for a while.
mm-hmm.
Like the internet is a gift and a curse because it's a gift in the sense of you can
get yourself out there.
You can get yourself out there within seconds. You can build a platform, but like easier than ever. It's not like a matter of you got to go out and hand CDs out. You don't got to hand flyers out and hope people go ahead and listen and hope people see like get it to the right hands. Like you just can post it and then grind it, but it's also a curse because people make themselves seem perfect and then it relays that message of insecurity on others.
Yeah.
It's easy to hide your real life on the internet to a degree. Once you're
Yeah,
out there,
definitely to a
everything's out
degree.
there, but
I don't. It's not even like. I just hate the way how people like. I'm not gonna talk about this too much because it's a sensitive topic, but just the way the world is now. It's so just. It's sensitive and it's a lot of rough things. That's like controversy about everything. That it's just like.
it's just the media is too corrupt at this point.
Exactly.
You don't know what to believe and how to believe it because there's a million things that actually could be. Just like it's like with scam calls. And like it went from a scam call to where you just know it's a scam call to where you can get a call now and you're like, is it a scam call? Is it real? Like Haley literally had a whole job thing where she was scammed. They literally told her dad was there for it and all. Like they literally told her that they will pay her $800 a week to be her like a personal assistant, like with helping with paperwork and like errands and stuff. So she was like interested in it, and then he didn't contact her forever, and then out of nowhere she got two $7,000 checks sent to her in her name. And then he emailed her saying, "Go cash these in, and like send me the money over once, and let me know when it's done. This is your money for the errands." And then
he was trying to give her dirty money and go make it clean.
yeah, he was basically gave her checks, and if she went to the bank and asked rather than like just saying cash these in, and they checked and they were fake things. So if she did that shit, he would have taken the money, and the banks would have made her account negative $14,000.
14,000. Oh, why? Because it was fake, so they would have taken that out of.
Yeah, since it was fake money and they got fraud money, so they would have blamed her for it, and then he would have got the real money while she got $14,000 in debt.
Man. Sconge.
Like that's how far it all goes, but that comes back to the conversation of how you don't know what to believe anymore.
Exactly, but that's why I like to just. That's why like these things are so important. Especially, I feel like like me going live on Instagram, interacting with my fans is great and important because like I need to interact with them. I want to interact with them. I want to see how they're doing. I want to see whatever. But I feel like a podcast is just a completely different way of dissecting the brain and letting people know how you are, because you can go on an interview of, let's just say, Trippie Redd or Juice when he was alive. And you can go in an interview and like, yeah, they're asking him questions. You see how he answers them. That's a little dive deep into his mind. Then he goes on a podcast and everything just like this pours out and you know exactly what's going on in their mind. You know how they're thinking. You know what their motive is. It's just a whole nother more real way of looking at things.